Running JavaScript in the console editor is pretty cool, but it isn't any way to code up a whole web app, right? So let's start setting up a real project that will allow us to move on to using the IDE's editor. This will also show us how simple an app can be in Node. It can be as watered down as a single file running in Node, a whole application, a single file. Let's see. The first thing we need to do to set up a Node project is to get out of the Node editor, Control-C, back to the command line, and in the command line what we need to do is set up a directory for our project to live in, step one. So let's call the directory node project. Okay. Then we need to change into that directory. And what I want to show you is how we can simply create a file and then execute that file in Node.js, and how simple a whole web application can be as a single file. So let's create a file and hit the enter key. And if you look up here in our Node project, we've now got a file called app.js under Node project. So we can double click this and it opens the file up in our editor, and we can just simply type in a couple of things. And save the file, and then come back to our command line and use the command node and the file name and hit enter to run the file. Again, this was just like our console app, but this is actually a real app all set up in a real structure, and it can be demonstrated to work. Again, the point here is to just stress the fact that this can be as simple as Node running one file called app.js, and it's a whole application. Now, app.js is very simplistic at this point with two simple lines of code. We can expand app.js to tens, hundreds, thousands of lines of code and have a very, very complex application running. But it all boils down again to the fact that Node.js is running one file, app.js, and the whole application is contained within that file, not necessarily contained in the file, but that is the heart of the application, and everything starts at app.js. There's dependencies that can be imported and other packages that are utilized in app.js, but app.js essentially is the whole application.